Do you want to learn how to make movies? That's good, because me too. And I'm making this video series on filmmaking 101 and helping you learn how to make better movies for YouTube or any other social media. And today we will talk about lenses. You can see the previous videos were here or here somewhere, where I talk about the gear you need in order to make movies, and the last video about how to choose the right camera. Today we will choose the right lens for you, or lenses, because one lens is okay, more lenses is better. When we talk about lenses, there are multiple kinds of lenses and multiple characteristics for these lenses in order to know what to choose and how to use them. So today we will see each of these, and I will try to show you the lenses I have in order to help you better visualize. And if I don't have these lenses, I will show you pictures, like it will be easier. So let's start. Today we will not talk about the camera lenses on your phone, because these are very small and I talked about them a little bit in the last video. But today we will talk about the lenses you will use on cameras, be it DSLR, mirrorless, or any kind of camera that you can use. And I will show you the lenses that I have. The first kind of lens that you will know about is the prime lenses. What's a prime lens? A prime lens is a lens that is with a fixed focal length, like this one, the 50mm that I have on this camera, which is a Canon 250D. So as you can see, this is a Canon 50mm 1.8. Here you can see Canon 50mm. It has a toggle here for autofocus or manual focus, and it has the red dot, which is signaling that is an EF mount. I will talk more about mounts later on. Here are the connectors for the camera and the glass that is here. So 50mm is something that is not, it's not a range of focal length, so this is why we call it a prime lens. It has only one focal length. The second number we will see is here, for example, the 1.8. It's 2 points, then 1.8 is the aperture. It's how much light or the diameter of the opening on the lens that will let light enter into the sensor. This, the bigger it is, the better for having a lot of light, and light is good for images. It's 1 divided by this aperture, and it gives you the diameter, but in reverse. So the bigger the number, the smaller the aperture, the smaller the number, the bigger the aperture. So this is the kind of lens that gives you that blurred background or the bokeh that we love on pictures or on movies. So these are prime lenses, and we have a lot of different focal lengths. I've seen from 10mm to 400 or 800mm. I'll talk more about why these are different lenses and what they are used for. The second kind of lens is zoom lenses, and these are the lenses that have a range of different focal lengths that range from 4 to more than 1,000. I think I saw 1,000 at one time. So I can show you these, but right now it will stop the shooting, since it's the lenses that are on these cameras that are shooting me right now. What would happen if I remove the lens while I'm shooting? Let's see.
A few moments later.
This is a zoom lens. It's a 10 to 80mm. It's a wide lens, and you can see here 10 to 18mm. It has an autofocus just as the other one, and it has a stabilizer on it, which is on for me because I like my image to be stable. As you can see here, it's 10 to 18mm, and you have the aperture, which is from 4.5 to 5.6. This doesn't give you the wonderful bokeh, but it's a wide lens, which is very wonderful in order to let you film yourself from very close instead of going far, and you can vlog with it. If you see here, we don't have the red dot. It's a white square, and this is typically for the mount for Canon cameras with the EFS mount for cropped sensor cameras, which are the cameras I have. The camera didn't like it when I removed the lens while I was shooting. It stopped, so I have to resync this image with this image in order to make my movie. We will talk about editing once we arrive at this point. It will be one of the videos. Subscribe if you want to see this video. The lens on this camera is also a zoom lens. It's an 18 to 55 millimeters with an aperture from 3.5 to 5.6. As you can see, it's a zoom lens. I can zoom on myself or go very far. These lenses are very practical in order to have a wide range of focal lengths in order to make different kinds of composition, like the kind of image that you want to show on your videos or on your photos. This one can zoom from this to this. Now we'll talk about the different kinds of lenses in regard to their focal length. 4 to 14 millimeters are what we call fisheye lenses. It's these lenses that give you a distorted image on the sides, just like on the GoPros, the classical image from the GoPros, and these are fisheye lenses. If you see these kind of lenses on cameras, like on DSLRs or mirrorless, you will see that the glass on top of it is bumped, like it's very protruding from the lens. These are fisheye lenses, and typically it's a very short focal length. And then we have wide lenses, just like this lens, that range from 14 to 35 millimeters. They are perfect for vlogging. And then we have the lenses that we call standard, which are from 35 to 85 millimeters, just like this one, which is 18 to 55. So it's a little bit wide and it's a little bit standard. This is the kit lens, the standard lens that comes with any kind of camera if you don't choose specifically any other lens. And then we have the short telephoto kind that goes from 85 to 135, and then the medium telephoto that are 135 plus up to 300, and then we have the super telephoto that are from 300 plus. These are the big lenses that you see on stadiums for sport events or nature photographers and these kind of things. And then we have the macro lenses that go from 35 to 200, but these lenses are specifically designed in order to shoot like in very close proximity of the subject, in order to get very detailed images of the subject. All of this is working perfectly for full frame cameras. When we talked about the cameras in the last episode, we talked about the lens sizes. So the full frame camera has a sensor that is designed to give the same kind of image as the old film cameras, the 35 millimeters. What I'm using right now is not a full frame camera. It's an APS-C sensor, and an APS-C sensor is a cropped sensor. And when we talk about cropping sensors, there is what we call the crop factor. I have a crop factor of 1.6 in this camera. Here's an image of what are the different crop sizes. In this image, you can see that in order for me to have the same kind of image that I would have on the full frame camera, just imagine that this is the frame that I have on the full frame camera. This is the frame that I have. If I have a crop sensor, it will be this. So if I need the same image, I need to go further. For example, the 50 millimeter, this camera, if I was to shoot myself from this distance on the full frame camera, it will totally work. But since I have a crop sensor, I have a crop factor of 1.6. I need to put the camera very further away from me, like 2 meters further, in order to get the same kind of image. And it's the same for all the sensors. I have the crop sensor, so I have to multiply by 1.6 in order to get the equivalent focal length for me in order to get the same image as full frame camera. And depending on your sensor, you can have a factor of 1.5, 1.6, 2, and so on, depending on what kind of sensor you have and what kind of lenses you want to mount on them. There are a lot of accessories you can add to your camera, just like lens adapters or lens extenders. The adapters are to mount different kind of lenses on different kinds of cameras. Each kind of camera has a specific kind of mount. On Canon we have the EF mount, that is the mount that was used from a very long time ago, and there is a ton of lenses for this mount. We have the EFS mount, which is somewhat compatible with the EF, which is what I have on these cameras. The new Canon cameras have an ER mount, which is the new mount from Canon, but the number of glass is now a little bit limited, but you have adapters in order to adapt EF onto ER mounts. Sony cameras have two different kinds of mount, but most popular is the E mount, and you have the A mount also. The E mount is fantastic. It's the same mount on all the Sony cameras, from the crop sensors to the cinema cameras, and it's wonderful. Nikon have the F mount and the new Z mount, and also same problem as the others, and they have also adapters to adapt old lenses on new lenses. And you have also cross-bound mount adapters, and you have adapters for old lenses that are very cheap and very excellent. They have special kind of image that you can get from them. Lens extenders are extenders that will add to the focal length of your camera, and you can use it to compensate the crop factor. So for example, for me here, if I have a 50 millimeters film on me and I add an extender, I can multiply that by 1.5, 2, depending on the extender that I will use. So these are the information that I have currently about lenses, and I would like to learn even more about them. What about you? Do you want to learn more? If so, leave it in the comment section and I will be glad to make the research about it and answer to you in the comments or in a future video. Don't forget to subscribe to see the next videos. In the next one we will talk about light and how to use it. See you soon. Bye.